Today is January the 22nd of 2022, and I'm Dan Rogers, the Potter County Republican Chairman, and I'm here today with Alex Yarbrough, who's running for 47th District Judge. Alex, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's start off by telling the voters who you are, where you came from, and then we'll get into why you're running for 47th District Judge.
Sure. So I'm actually from Littlefield, Texas, hometown of Waylon Jennings. His name is still on the water tower, if you like country music. My wife and I moved here to Amarillo in 2011, and we live in Bushland now. 2 little kiddos, a daughter who's about to be 9 and a son who's 6. And so, it's a little weird living in Bushland now because being from Littlefield, Bushland was never in our district, but they are now. And so do I cheer for my kids' team or do I cheer with the school I grew up with? But no, we love it here. We go to Hillside Church, and glad to call Amarillo home now.
So you're an attorney, and you've decided to get into be the 47th District Judge.
That's correct.
Why did you want to do that?
It was not in my 5-year game plan at all. Through a string of events, I went to church and heard a sermon about serving. Then I went to a High Plains Republican Women meeting with that Scott Pressler guy. He talked about they needed young people young conservatives to step up and run. And I really felt like God was calling me to run. I joke around. We live in a post-COVID world, and a year and a half ago when I'm working from home in a robe, I just Google how to keep working in a robe, and it's either a choir boy or a judge, and I can't sing, so now I'm in this race.
There you go. So why did you pick the 47th? Because there's several other positions judgeships you could have ran for.
So I live in Randall County, Amarillo is split between 5 district courts. 2 of them are Potter County only. The other 3 split between Potter and Randall, and then the 47th actually has Armstrong County in it. And so Judge Frosto and Judge Estevez are incumbents, essentially, and the other 2 Randall County ones. And so Judge Schaap announced his retirement and, talked about it with my family and prayed about it and decided to go for that one.
So you chose it because it was an open seat.
Correct.
You didn't want to run against Frostow.
I didn't want to run against Frostow or Estevez. So I think they're both doing a good job. And Schaap's was open, so that's the one.
Now, Estevez isn't up this year, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. That's next time.
Okay.
I think you have 3 of them. So you have the 47th, the 320th, and what's the other one?
The 181st.
181st.
Correct.
And that's Pam Sermon and Steve Denny.
Correct. And that one is just Potter County only. Right. So,
yeah. I thought everybody in Bushland lived in Potter County, so you must live south of I-40.
I do. I live south of I-40. I actually live on 34th Street. And so the Potter County line is not too far away from my house, but I'm technically in Randall County, and it's nice now. They've actually paved 34th Street all the way from Bushland to Amarillo now. So I think it's setting up to be a speed trap because it's it's as straight as I-40, but I think this posted speed limit is like 45 or something, but I mean, mercy.
Well, that'll be good business for attorneys.
Yeah, there you go.
So what type of law do you practice?
So I'm a civil defense attorney. I've only done litigation my entire career. When I originally moved here, I worked with the law firm Sprouse Schrader Smith for a number of years, and then, about 4 or 5 years ago, I went over to Riney and Mayfield, and I primarily do government defense. So if it's a county or a city, think sheriff's deputies, jails, law enforcement, I primarily defend those types of entities. So, my practice is varied. I'll do some, mom and pop defense, real estate defense. I've done realtors, doctors, accountants, but primarily I do government defense.
Do you win?
They joke around. They say it's good to be king because, half the time, I'd say more than half the time with these government cases, you're immune from suit. And so that's not always the case. But a lot of the time you can file some stuff to just say, hey, you're immune, you shouldn't even be sued. And so that's good. I worked in the DA's office a long time ago, and then 6 or 7 years ago, I did family law for a while. I don't really do that anymore. I'm on the CJA panel, the criminal panel for the federal court, and I've been on that for a couple years now. So those cases are more exciting than most of my run-of-the-mill stuff, though.
So if I want to file suit against the county for violating HAVA, you would defend them?
So, yeah, it depends on which county. But that's, possibly, yeah. So I'm going to close my ears on that one. So don't call me if you want to sue a government entity. That's the deal.
Okay. So. Very good. So what do you see as some of the issues that you'd like to work on if you become the judge of the 47th District Court?
Yeah, I think, with all the courts right now, they're all facing a backlog from COVID. I know everywhere I go, everybody talks about that. And I know a lot of the courts are trying to do everything they can to get through that backlog. I think the Texas Supreme Court is on their 45th emergency order already. And, they'll open stuff up, close stuff down. It's been open for a while now. And, we'll have Zoom hearings when it's necessary and in-person hearings when that's necessary. I had 2 in-person hearings this last week. So, there's programs through the court administration. I think it's called the Centers of Excellency, where they kind of keep track of how well different courts are doing and give you like goals to strive for, metrics essentially. I'm a big technology guy, and I like seeing those metrics, and I would like to see the 47th court meet some of those goals of getting cases in and getting them out. Justice delayed is justice denied. I know it's a cliche, but it's true.
So as the judge of the 47th, part of your role will be administering the whole court system, the employees, and that sort of thing, right?
Right.
So you'll have to be kind of an administrator as well as a judge.
Correct.
And do you have any ideas on how you could streamline that or make it more efficient, or do you think it's well run now?
I actually just got an email from Judge Shapp. He emailed all the candidates on kind of the stats of what the backlog is and what the caseload is right now. And so, I think he's doing a pretty good job of coming to work and getting those cases in and out. I think there's always room for improvement. That's the kicker. As soon as you think or become complacent on something or get stagnant, then, there's always room for improvement. So.
Right. And I guess the main thing, I think what attorneys indicate to me is that they just want everybody to be treated the same.
Right.
And I think that's important.
I think the hardest thing is if you are going into a courtroom and you feel as if you already know how it's going to go before you've said anything. That's very disheartening.
Yeah.
And nobody should feel like that. And so you don't want to have to tell your clients, well, this judge hates this or loves this or, X, Y, and Z, and you kind of feel like you're not going to get a fair shake. And so I think one of my utmost goals is for everyone to feel like they're going to be treated with respect, dignity, and they're going to get a fair shake. And so that's what you can expect if I'm judge.
Now, you're also head of the Federalist Society here, right?
Yes. So I'm not going to lie, that was I'm president of the local chapter for the Federalist Society, and one of their main tenets is that the judiciary essentially should apply the law as written. They shouldn't legislate from the bench. I'm a big proponent of that. Essentially, you got to color inside the lines. Judicial activism is one of the worst things that's happened to the judicial branch in the last decade or so. And so you got to color inside the lines in the district court bench, just to apply the law as it's written. I really enjoy the Federalist Society because, they're a group of conservatives and, libertarians that foster debate. They want a good debate on all these issues. A lot of the times, at least in law schools, you'll get, quite frankly, liberal professors talking with other liberal professors, and you don't get a full picture of the view. And so we'll host events and have people up, and it's a good organization to get involved with.
So do you have primarily attorneys in your group, or is it?
Yes. So
anybody join, or?
So anybody can come to our events, but it technically is a lawyer chapter. They also have student chapters at law schools, but anybody can come to the events, and we welcome anybody to attend. So we just a few months ago we screened the Clarence Thomas movie at the Happy State Bank, and had popcorn and watched the Clarence Thomas movie. I mean, that he has an interesting life. And it's kind of funny seeing behind the scenes. Like, I think when he's out of session, he has this big RV that he gets in and drives around the country, and he'll like park in a Walmart parking lot and stay overnight. And he's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he used to come. I knew him. Well, I didn't know. I met him when I was in college. I was head of the student government, and him and John Ashcroft. I didn't know it, but they would come to my meetings and watch me because they liked what I was doing, and sit in the back. And then when my term was over, they came up and introduced themselves.
Right. That's pretty cool.
It was Clarence Thomas, which I didn't remember him, but a friend of mine said, well, you remember when you met him, right? And he was coming to your meetings.
That's
They'd
cool.
drive up from Jefferson City and come to Columbia, and just 20 miles, and they'd sit there in the back and watch me do my thing. Take out the liberals. I wiped them out.
Well, I mean, if you had somebody watching you, that's the man you want to watch you. I mean, so
it was a lot of fun. But yeah, you never know. So no, I didn't even know that there was a Clarence Thomas movie coming out.
Yeah, so you can stream it online. I think it's on a bunch of different streaming.
Really, I have to check that out.
And I mean, I think sometimes I think they air it on PBS, but to stream it, I think it's like $5 or $6 or something. And it goes through his birth, his childhood, where he grew up, where he worked. Obviously the issues with him going to the Supreme Court and all those hearings, and then kind of his time on the court. And it truly is. It's a good movie. So I recommend it. You should watch it.
Well, we'll see if we can't make that happen. Maybe we can get it out to the voters and tell them where they can watch it.
Yeah.
But was there? You got two opponents, 3 people running in your race. So why should the voters choose you over one of the other people? Why should they choose you?
I think I'm the only one. So in law school for 2 years, I served as a law clerk to a state district court judge. And so for 2 years, I watched every hearing, went to every trial, and worked with the staff and the court administration and how the court worked. And so I've got 2 years of direct experience in an office just like this. Additionally, I've got the energy. I'm not going to treat this as a part-time retirement gig essentially, and quite frankly, I think I've got the temperament for it. Judicial temperament means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but it matters how you say things. Technically we could say the same things, but it matters how you say it. There's a terrible joke. It's somebody could say, "Hey, have a great day," and the next person can say, "Enjoy your next 24 hours." Well, I mean, technically the same thing, but I mean, it's how it's said. It's how you say it. So I think I have the right temperament and the right patience for this job, and I'm a good listener. And I think that's what this job takes. Is you've got to come in every single day and have the energy to listen to every person in front of you. If you're set in your ways and this is how you're going to do things no matter what, well, then that probably doesn't make the good qualities for a good judge.
Very interesting. Well, we think, do you have a website or anything that the voters can get a hold of you and learn more about you? And
I do. So it's votealexyarbrough.com, plain and simple.
you want to spell Yarbrough for them?
Yeah, it's Y-A-R-B as in boy, R-O-U-G-H. When I knock on doors, I think half the questions I get is, are you related to the veterinarian, Dr. Yarbrough? I am not. In fact, I need to figure out, I'm just not related to him. I hope he was a good vet. So everybody keeps associating me with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was good.
He was good? All right. Well, most of my family lives around Abilene or Lubbock. But yeah, it's votealexyarbrough.com. I have a Facebook, and it's also just Facebook/VoteYarbrough. Yeah, that's where you can find out more about me.
Well, we'll put that on your video below it so people can find it.
Okay, appreciate that.
And is there anything else you'd like to tell the voters while you're here and why they should vote for you?
I just would appreciate everybody's vote. I told you I'm a technology guy, so I'm when I went to law school, I had a computer science degree. And when I knock on doors, I have a little on my other name badge. It's just a tag that just you can touch your phone, and it adds all my information to your phone. And so some people are like, "Are you going to take all my information or something?" but I'm a lifelong Republican. My mom's elected county Republican in Lamb County, and I think it's we need young conservatives to step up and fill some of these roles in this area. So I would appreciate everybody's vote on March 1st.
Well, that's the hardest thing I have to do is to find good, competent candidates to run for these particularly county positions.
Right.
We need good young people to step up.
Right.
So we appreciate you running. I admire anybody that's willing to step out and run for public office. That takes a lot of courage.
No problem. Well, and I appreciate this. I mean, y'all doing this. I know not every county does this, and it's a nice setup and very well organized. So,
well, we just do the best we can with what we got.
There you go.
That's all we can do. All right, Alex. Well, we really appreciate it, and thank you, and good luck.
No problem. Thanks.